Once upon a time, there was a wee little baby watercolor artist. Okay, she was 32, but in terms of business, she was a bebe. And when she was creating her business name, she wanted so desperately to think of something clever. She was a self-proclaimed pun master, after all. But not knowing where her business was going to take her, she decided on something classic, something non-committal. You can bet your bottom dollar she wasn't going to let a little thing like a name get in the way of her dreams. Thus began Kate Talcott Artistry, LLC. And so, the watercolor business was born! For a few years, she dabbled in things like digital arts, wedding stationery, and custom portraiture. But none of them felt quite so wonderful as painting beautiful flowers. Just something about the petals and the sunlight hitting the leaf just right. You can see the layers of the greenery so clearly. Ugh! And how all the happy little accidents somehow became the favorite parts of her paintings. She then started encouraging other people to be bold and try new things, especially if it was watercolor. And everything one day just clicked. This is what the business was meant to be. A celebration of the beauty a garden can hold, uniting with the absolute joy and wonder of finding a new hobby. Thus became the beginnings of Splatter and Bloom. Splatter to indicate the playfulness of discovery and unpredictability of watercolor, and Bloom to represent the flowers. But you know she couldn't just leave it at that. Bloom also is a play on words, of course. They didn't call her a pun master for nothing. Bloom is a watercolor term used to describe when water and paint mix together on the page, creating one of the quintessential looks that people recognize as unique to watercolor. And this week, our heroine, think of her as your very own personal, adorable Bob Ross with a coffee obsession and some volume control issues, launched her new brand. Welcome to the world, Splatter and Bloom! To find out what happens in this next chapter, be sure to follow along and see what adventures come next. But seriously, if you've ever been curious about watercolor, hit the follow button because it all starts with